Hey, it's Joshua Vigar from Android Authority. What's going on, everybody? And today I have another blockbuster versus for you, this time pitting two of the best performing 5-inch screen devices on the market today. Now, a little company called Oppo might have come out of left field with their first big smartphone offering, and it happened to be one of the best. Well, we're going to pit it against Sony's best with their flagship device. So let's see how they stack up, because this is the Sony Xperia Z versus the Oppo Find 5. Let's start it off by throwing up the scoreboard for the Xperia Z. Alright, here we have a black slate look with a rectangular fully flat design. The Z is quite the looker and all those flaps give it water resistance. And now for the Oppo Find 5. That sleek white back is the contrast to a large display and front. Both are really attractive phones and get numerous compliments wherever they go. So, we have a tie on design. But when it comes to feel, it is the Xperia Z that gets the point. Why? Because of that button layout. Having the big silver button and volume rockers halfway down the right side makes them so much easier to reach than the rather typical layout of button opposite volume on the Oppo Find 5. If you've been following our Xperia Z coverage, then it's no secret that the TFT 5-inch 1080p screen has some poor viewing angles. It becomes even more apparent when you put it up against the awesome IPS LCD performer of the Oppo Find 5. Seriously, look at how vivid the screen of the Find 5 looks no matter how you're glancing at it. You'll get a great experience with the Xperia Z when looking dead on, but it's obvious that the Oppo Find 5 has the advantage here. You're looking at the same processor packages in either phone. A 1.5 GHz Snapdragon S4 Pro processor with Adreno 320 GPUs and 2 GB of RAM. While they might carry the same performers within, the Xperia Z does routinely score around 20,000 in an Antutu benchmark over the average score of 18,000 for the Find 5. While these scores do put the Xperia Z on top, both are still admittedly very snappy in practice and neither truly feels slower than the other. It is in the hardware department though that the Xperia Z makes some extra headway. While both phones can offer 16 or 32 GB of memory installed, only the Xperia Z makes it expandable with an SD card slot. Also, the Oppo Find 5 only comes with HSDPA connectivity, while LTE versions of the Xperia Z are available. Quite simply put, the Z offers a little bit more here. Alright, so we're on to software. Both have Jelly Bean 4.1.2 installed with their respective skins. The Xperia UI looks very much like Ice Cream Sandwich, which gives it a simplistic elegance. The Oppo UI, on the other hand, looks a lot more bloated, but that isn't necessarily a bad thing. Some people like the MIUI style blocks and blobby widgets. Other than that, everything looks very bare bones and doesn't ever really exude extra functionality. So I give the Xperia UI the point here, not just because it is sleeker, but because it includes higher functioning apps like the Walkman and even small apps for quick multitasking. Again, it just offers more here. And finally, the cameras. Both the Xperia Z and the Find 5 have 13 megapixel shooters, though the Sony Exmor RS sensor is a factor here. Nonetheless, the resulting picture quality is quite comparable for both. The Xperia Z opts for a darker tone generally, but the details in both are still pretty well captured. Once again, however, the Oppo Find 5's bare-bones nature makes the camera pretty simplistic. The Sony additions of superior auto and various scene modes puts the higher functioning Xperia Z on top. And finally, we land on price. The Xperia Z might have an advantage when it gets on a carrier, as it can then get a lowered price on contracts, but when fully unlocked, the Oppo Find 5 actually has the lower price tag starting at $499 compared to the generally over $700 price of the Xperia Z. And so, there you have it. The Xperia Z is like a very high-functioning laptop made by a big manufacturer, while the Oppo Find 5 feels more like a bare-bones but still high-end notebook. The Xperia Z does offer a little bit more than the Oppo Find 5 though, so it walks away in this battle. But the really great screen on top of the very good specifications that rival the Xperia Z make the Find 5 still a great contender. Figure out what you really want from these two handsets though, and you really can't go wrong with either choice. And as always, we want to remind you that there's always great content going up on the Android Authority YouTube channel, so don't forget to subscribe. And then, once you're done with all that, head on over to androidauthority.com, your source for all things Android.